Hello, welcome to Mayday Media. Got a little article here for you on some fertilizer issues. I think we're going to be having some problems starting 1st of July. Looking like you're going to be hearing a lot of stuff about this. We're going to read a little article. Got a little video here to watch. Like, subscribe, help me out a little bit there. Conflict in the Middle East is threatening to spike grain prices and exacerbate hunger amongst the world's poor, the chief executive fertilizer for Fertiglobe says. Fertiglobe, majority owned by Abu Dhabi, whoever, uses natural gas to produce fertilizers. Prices of ammonia and urea fertilizers have jumped since the conflict began. When supplies from the Middle East fell and the energy supply shock sent gas prices soaring, nitrogen fertilizers like ammonia and urea are particularly important for boosting yields of crop like corn and rice. Pretty effective stuff. With the Strait effectively closed, Fertiglobe has been trucking some of its product from the Strait by road to other regional ports, but not enough to fully offset the hit to supply. Some 30% of urea exports aren't leaving the region. Gas prices have also risen after facilities in the Middle East were hit, pushing costs up for producers globally. Failure to get fertilizer supplies moving or provide financial support risks worsened food shortages and triggered higher prices gains. Let's see down here. Prospect waterway opening enough sent crude to $90. Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. European Union authorities said Friday that they would provide 540 million or 625 million in US dollars in financial support for farmers in the bloc to buy fertilizer, citing the need to ensure food security and sharply rising costs. Government farming, I guess now. Big farming. $540 million. Still, the impact of the conflict on fertilizer and agriculture markets is best described as a tragedy unfolding in slow motion. Yeah, that's probably about right. I'm just going to, man, starting next month, you're gonna start hearing about this on TV for sure. Farmers in the southern hemisphere are disproportionately affected, given that they are currently planting crops and have limited access to their credit or government support needed to buy fertilizer. Higher fuel prices also threaten to eat away at farmers' margins, El-Hoshy. Now, what does it mean? A credit or government support, limited access to the credit or government support needed. That's bad. Government support is worse. And that, with a growing population, could be extremely problematic. Yeah, this could all be pretty bad, and it's probably going to be.
Let's focus now on some of the economic effects of the war with Iran. About a third of the world's fertilizer supply passes through the Strait of Hormuz, and its effective closure is causing shortages and price spikes for fertilizer during the crucial spring planting season. That has led to fears of both elevated food prices and lower crop yields across the globe. This morning, Agriculture Secretary told PBS News and Liz Landers that, quote, everything was on the table to fix the problem for American farmers.
Clearly, this week, for 36 days for the conflict, has elevated the issue of fertilizer and how important it is for American farmers and frankly for our food supply. The good news is that about 80% of our farmers have actually last fall locked in their fertilizers as we're moving into planting season. It's only about 20 to 25% of our farmers that didn't lock that in. We're working directly to ensure that we can get them what they need and it won't bankrupt them.
Now, despite those numbers, farmers we spoke with say they fear these cost increases could put them over the edge. Here's some of what they told us.
My name is Russell Bating. My family and I farm right south of San Antonio. We're buying nitrogen right now, and it's about 40% higher than it was, 2 or 3 months ago before the conflict. Let's just say that.
And it was going high then.
My name is Matt Frost. I have a crop and livestock operation in Michigan. In January, we were looking
$6 diesel, soon to be $8 diesel.
markets for both sides spectrum. When that happens, farmers have to make choices. They plant less crops, they apply less fertilizer, or they switch the crops that they plant. All of those have long-term costs.
Globally, what are the biggest risks if this disruption continues?
So the biggest risks come in two categories. One is risks from high fertilizer prices, and that those risks change depending on the time horizon of this war. The nature of the countries affected and how they're affected changes. When you look at the countries that import most of the production of the phytochemical products and the inputs to fertilizers, those include some of the world's major agricultural producers and exporters. So potentially many really important countries on ag markets could be affected, alongside a lot of countries that are food insecure could also be affected. But the other category of business comes actually through a different channel, which is high energy prices. And it's actually through high energy prices that we're expecting to see high food prices in the short term in the U.S. and around the world.
If the Strait were to reopen tomorrow, how quickly could the supply recover?
Weeks to months likely, mainly because liquefied natural gas is one of the most important inputs to nitrogen fertilizer. What we've seen are intentional attacks on LNG production facilities. So the duration of time it takes to get those facilities back online is going to affect how long it's going to take to get fertilizer prices back to normal.
There are comparisons to the 2022 disruption after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Is that a fair comparison?
Yes and no. It's a fair comparison in that major commodities are affected in both scenarios, and the timing was very, very similar, almost to the day. In the case of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, you had fertilizers and fuel and food exports affected. In the case of this war with Iran, you have fertilizers and fuel affected mainly. With Russia's invasion of Ukraine, because millions of tons of grains were effectively locked in Ukraine's ports immediately after the invasion, that's why you saw global food prices spike to a historic high within a matter of weeks. In this case, again, it will take some time to see the impacts of high fertilizer prices on agriculture markets and food prices, but in the near term, these high energy prices that are driving food prices higher globally. We saw the first report of the UN Food and Agriculture Organization out just a few days ago, looking at prices in March. The price of all major ag commodities had increased.
That was my next question for you. We talked about the impact on these farmers, but for
Yeah.
regular consumers, I hear you say that we might not see the price increases for what, a couple more weeks.
Couple more weeks. I'll be looking for the consumer price index report from the U.S. Out in a matter of days. I'll be watching for subsequent reports from the UN Food and Agriculture Organization. The World Food Program of the UN expects that continued high energy prices alone will increase the number of people experiencing acute food insecurity by up to 45 million, depending on the duration of the war. And those impacts could spike within a few months. So it takes a few months for the impacts of high energy prices to bear out on high food prices. That's what we saw in the case of Russia and Ukraine as well.
Few months, guys. You got a few months. I'm saying by July you're going to be hearing way buku news stories about all this shit. And you got dipshit and cheap. It's like one day it's a war, one day it's not. Next day they're giving 300 bill. Next day, it's ridiculous. Start a garden. Do your own thing. I think that's unless you're rich. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment. Bye.